Save the Children is in the business of making opportunities real for kids in need. And we primarily work in health, education, livelihoods, and protection of kids. I think the issues that we are trying to tackle, so whether it's the 2 billion people that live with under $2 a day, or whether it's the 7.5 million kids that die in the developing world of preventable disease, these are huge issues. Save the Children will never solve them by themselves. NGOs will never solve them by themselves. So there just aren't enough resources in that sector. So I think what shared value is really about, to me, is how do you harness the power of business and the fact that business is out there running an enterprise profitably, and how do you harness that to really bring real value to poor people in developing countries. So if we're talking about something like educating girls, why would the corporate sector care about that? Well, they would care about it because that might be their future workforce in that country. Or they might be looking at, how do I have a population of women that can afford to buy my products? And education is going to be a key to that. So it's really about finding that intersection with issues for us, issues that Save the Children cares about, and issues that have a real resonance with business. You know, I think what you have to do from our standpoint as a leading NGO, we need to start with the issue that we are really tackling. So if that's girls' education, for example, we need to stay based on that issue. And then we need to say what businesses might be interested in this issue as well, and for what reasons. And businesses are coming to us, and we're going to businesses with those ideas. But I think what we have to do is stay true to what we do as an organization, and then look for those intersections. And that can be a challenge, because I think, you know, organizations like ours are always looking for resources. You might be tempted to say, you know, I'll try to fit that into what I do, even if it's not all that important, and even if I don't see how it resonates with my mission. That's a mistake. I think if you're on the corporate side and you're looking to partner with an NGO, I think you need to go in with a very long-term vision, that you're really committed to trying to make this a part of your business in a long-term way, and that you really believe in this idea of shared value. Or at least you're going to test it to make sure you believe in it. I think you also have to realize it's going to take real resources to actually do this. So it's not going to be something that you can kind of say, I'm just going to run it out of my business on a normal day-to-day basis. It's going to take some investment to make it work. So I think in terms of partnering with nonprofit organizations, probably there's a couple of things that are really important. One is patience. So I think you have to go into this with a long-term perspective, and you have to go into this saying, this is going to take us some time, and we are truly going to be a partner with this organization. We're not going to come in and do a project and then say, okay, we're on to the next thing. So they have to look at it, you have to look at it from a long-term basis, and really the idea of partnership and patience. I think the other thing is, don't be afraid to talk to the nonprofit about how your business really works. I think sometimes businesses are afraid to talk about how do they make a profit, and what does their profit mechanism look like, and how does their business really work. I think you have to be honest with your nonprofit partners so that they understand what the levers are for a business. They can then work with you in a better way to make sure that your business is thriving and you're getting the social good that you're trying to get from the partnership. We are moving from traditional philanthropy to this new idea of shared value, but I think as we get there, there's a real role still for philanthropy to play. And some of it might be in being an incubator, getting some investment into getting these partnerships started up, for example, because I don't think right off the bat businesses are going to start making a profit in these kinds of partnerships. And I don't think right off the bat NGOs are going to come with all the resources that they need. So I think partnering, bringing the philanthropy piece along inside of a corporation together with the NGO piece and the real business leaders is going to be the way to move this forward. So what I would hope would happen is that we'd have not just individual companies and individual governments and individual NGOs working together around a social issue, but we'd have multiples of all of those. We'd have coalitions of organizations all saying, we're going to solve the issue of kids dying under the age of 5, or we're going to solve the issue of, you know, moving 1 billion people out of the $2 per day up, you know, from there. So those are just huge issues, and it's going to take lots of people. So coalitions, I think, are where we need to move.